It's that time of year where more than likely you're preparing for your end of year campaign. And if that's the case, you're probably asking questions, how do I plan? Who do I ask? How do I ask? And if you're asking these questions, you're on the right path. And this week I want to talk to you about 3 very simple steps that help me stay focused on my year-end campaign and help deliver the best results possible. So I'm going to walk you through these 3 steps. But before I do that, make sure that you download my free ebook, 10 Commandments of Catholic Fundraising. Yes, 10 things that I think every Catholic should be doing to make sure that you have an authentic Catholic voice when you are asking for money. The first essential part of my year-end fundraising always starts with, am I speaking in my authentic Catholic voice? You know, we can very easily take the letter or how somebody else is fundraising or asking for donations and just use it for ourselves, but you've got to find your authentic voice. I'm currently working with a religious order, and the brother that I'm working with, even though he hasn't done fundraising, and probably because he hasn't done any fundraising, he understands that, well, I've got to say this in my voice. And so we're preparing documentation that he's writing. I'm helping him on the side, but he's writing it, and he's going to have a much higher response rate. And how do I know this? Because every time you have and you use your authentic Catholic voice, you're going to get a better response. The next step in your year-end fundraising is to make sure that you ask the right Catholic. Now, we can think about, well, let's just go and ask as many Catholics as possible, but you don't do that because, well, you're going to have a lower response rate, and the old adage is you ask more people, you get more donations. Well, you don't want to do that because for 2 very simple reasons. One is you want to spend your time focused on Catholics who more than likely will donate. Now, we don't always know who can, but we do kind of know who might, and I'll explain why in a second. So one is you want to focus your time and attention on people who do and can and probably will donate, so that'll increase your response rate. And 2, stress levels. If you're running around trying to ask as many people as possible, it's going to be very stressful, and you're going to get a lot of no's, and you're going to get a lot of pushback. And we all know that stress, anxiety, and frustration are all not gifts of the Holy Spirit. So you want to avoid those and focus on Catholics that will give. And so, how do you know which ones you're going to give? Well, look back over the past 11 months and figure out who God has been placing in your life. And more than likely, He's been placing a lot of people in your life. And what you want to do is just spend the time to learn and figure out who are those people that you've been associating with that you've probably forgotten, because we all forget things quite quickly. But you want to find these people, and these are the people that you want to focus on and ask for donations in your year-end campaign. And the third step to your year-end campaign is to get personal with your approach. So it's somewhat similar to the first step, which we talked about the words, but this is your approach. And too often, again, we take the formula of somebody else and we just plug and play. Well, my suggestion is to take a step back. And one of my favorite saints, and I'm actually doing his total consecration right now, is Saint Louis de Montfort. And it's very interesting that he starts off with taking 12 days to literally just take a step back and, separate yourself from the world and just prepare yourself for the consecration. So he doesn't jump right in. And I think we can learn a lot from him, because when we're preparing for our year-end fundraising campaign, we can really be on the go, 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 the rush, rush, rush. Let's get this out and let's get money. But let's just take a step back and figure out, okay, what is my plan? Who am I going to speak to? What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? And just literally let God kind of take place in how you're going to approach your fundraising. And what you're going to find is it's going to be a lot easier, a lot less stressful, and much more successful. If you enjoyed this video on fundraising, make sure to subscribe. Right over there. It's going to be somewhere. Also, if you just enjoyed the scenic views of Catholicism in France, make sure to subscribe as well. and just follow me along on learning how to fundraise and seeing the beauty of Catholicism in the south of France. Cheers. Santé.